Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to another Yamcast. This is episode 10. We've done 10 of these now, 10 weeks of the Yamcast. Every week it gets better, bigger, bolder, crazier, I would say. I'm not crazier necessarily, but it's getting better. We're now officially on Spotify, Apple Music, a couple other places too. So if you are listening to the Yamcast only, thank you. Welcome. How's it going? Today we're going to be looking at a couple news from Norton. We're going to be looking at them a little bit. We're going to spend a lot of time devoted to our Discord boys today, chatting with them, answering some questions, doing a couple call-ins, and then we're going to check in with myself and Spite. Spite, you ready to go?
Let's do it.
Let's get into it. Hey everyone, before we get started with today's podcast, just wanted to give a quick shout out and head over to YammieNoobMerch.com and use the code YAM10 for 10% off on 2x entries on our sweepstakes. You've only got about 6 more days left. It's going to end on June 7th is the final day at midnight for the entries for the sweepstakes to enter for our KTM, our XSR, and our Street Triples. So again, YAM10 is going to get you 10% off and 2x entries over at YammieNoobMerch.com. Let's jump in.
Okay, so let's dive in with our first and only news topic for today.
Bit of a light week, huh?
Bit of a light week, and we're specifically avoiding Harley-Davidson.
Because we talk about them every week.
Yeah, we talk about them all the time. So the main story here is we have Norton is now officially hiring and expanding their workforce. Apparently, they were only 55 members deep before, which is crazy to me.
That is really crazy. That's a very small team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To be cranking out bikes that are sold the world over, that's wild.
Yeah.
And we've got a picture here of their factory floor.
Which looks like a back office at a warehouse.
It really does. It looks like they just set it up in some flex space, and it's just some dude, in a hoodie working on a bike. It looks like the Revival Cycles office almost.
Yeah, it literally looks like, like a parts bin shop that, ships out orders to one country. Mm-hmm. It's crazy they build bikes there, but it goes to show you can build a bike in a back office.
Yeah, and so the crux of this story is that they're hiring over 25% of their workforce. They're adding to their workforce by 25%, which is kind of a big deal when you're that small.
Yeah.
And all of this money is coming from the new TVS buyout that happened. And I guess it's just, TVS is showing some support for their new company, which is great. The quote here is, "We've begun the process of planning for the restart of the business and are looking forward to fill both existing vacancies and add to the capabilities of the organization," says the interim CEO. So it seems like they just have been completely frozen in time for the time being. Probably a bit of buyout and a bit of coronavirus had saw to that.
Yeah, I imagine that given the current economic climate and just general world climate, it's probably pretty difficult to go and expand and build a new brand and do all that stuff with the new motorcycle company they went and bought out. But fingers crossed, because Norton's got some cool IP. They've got a really pretty established brand cachet. I'd say they're up there with BSA and Triumph and all those from the 60s British motorcycling. And I think they have a lot to offer. That V4 race bike is really crazy.
Yeah. We actually have down here a kind of tangential news story. Is this Norton buyout is supposed to allow some of these deposit holders who have bought these crazy, wicked V4 superbikes that apparently have spoked wheels are now a little bit more hopeful that they're actually going to see the bike that they deposited on.
Look at the swing arm on that thing.
Yeah, that's wild. It's like some sort of crazy trellis. You can tell humans built it.
Yeah. Not much machine input on there. And the price point on that is what, like 44,000 pounds? Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier on the stream or on the podcast, where I was like, I mean, if I had the cash to burn, I'd much rather get that than a new V4R. It's so much more exclusive, so much more interesting. Imagine pulling up to that. Imagine pulling up to any bike night with that. Mm-hmm. People are like, what is that thing?
It's a showstopper.
Yeah, absolutely. Would I feel super comfortable ripping it on track? Probably not, because imagine bending that bike. Hurt my soul dropping that thing, but something tells me they probably won't see too many hard miles. But what a pretty bike, and the wire spoked wheels and the frame, the hand built nature of it is just so cool. And the fact that I think, if I remember correctly, the 1200cc V4 version of it, John McGuinness raced it at the Alaman TT, so it does have a little bit of history there. I think his was like that chromed out one.
Yeah, it was the chrome version. It's like a chrome wrap on a carbon fiber fairing.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's
so cool.
It's kind of next level stuff. And the new boss, the guy who leads the CEO of TVS, Sudarshan Venu, I'm probably butchering that, said it was their intention to get the bikes to the people who have paid the deposits as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that they're actually going to honor the previous deposits. And usually you see, especially in like the tech sector, if you buy into a company and you have a deposit, the chances are you see the product is like 50-50.
Yeah. You had something like that where you deposited down on some monitor, right? What was it?
Yeah. So there's a company called Slide Enjoy that's making this like slap-on monitor extension for laptops.
Yeah.
That just apparently runs off a USB port, which is crazy. And they were supposed to have shipped it out years ago. I bought it 4 years ago at this point, and it just, things happen, things change, and they push back dates and dates. I'm still hopeful that they were going to finish it. They were supposed to have the first 15,000 out before all this COVID stuff happened, and then it's been delayed, and I haven't heard from them since. So it is cool to see that these deposits are being honored.
Yeah, because you think about it, it's almost like a different way of raising capital, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where like Tesla does this all the time, where they're like, oh, we got this crazy Cybertruck coming out, put a deposit down, and all of a sudden they've raised, 10, 20, $50 million from all these deposits, you know what I mean? And then they have more working capital to do stuff. Not that Tesla's, hurting for money, but I imagine for Norton, it was probably huge to even take, I don't know, even 500 deposits of $1,000 would be like a nice cash influx for them to be able to do stuff and, make things happen.
Keeps the guys in the shops building the bikes.
Exactly, yeah. So it's cool to see that that's a top priority for them, is actually getting the bikes moved and out and having people enjoying them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Norton.
I'd like to think that they don't go down the Royal Enfield road.
I think so, too.
I think that because Norton, unlike Royal Enfield, Norton has this kind of cachet, this sort of they're because of they're intermingling with Triumph, the Tritons back in the day. They have a lot of just air and mystique about them that a lot of Royal Enfields kind of don't.
Kind of a legendary quality with Nortons, I'd say.
Yes. Yeah. They're they did those crazy rotary bikes. I mean, they've been around forever, and I'd like to see them stay, not necessarily like an elite buyer's motorcycle, but a motorcycle you buy and you're like, yes, I have a Norton.
I own a Norton. Yeah. I could see that. I think what they got to get right is like a fantastic, like, maybe entry to mid-level offering. Mm-hmm. Maybe a naked bike would probably be a good idea, and then offer the V4 since they're already starting to build it and do stuff with it. And then just like, something like a Bonneville type of bike, like some, neo retro classic kind of bike. And then I think they could be in good shape,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're seeing here some people are saying that the stream is cutting in and out.
Yeah, I got to address that in a little bit. But now that we've wrapped up the news section, let's address that and move on to the community portion of our podcast and check in with our boys.
Sounds good to me.
Alrighty, guys, we're now moving over to the call-in portion of our podcast here. So we're going to hear from some of our Discord members. Again, if you want to join up, hit up yammynoob.co and sign up, and you can join our Discord and hang out with all of us and have some fun. And we got someone right on the horn right now. Let's see who it is. Hello, Patrick. You are on the Yamcast. How's it going, my man?
Hey, doing great, guys. Calling in from Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia. How is it up there?
Yeah, it's all right. A lot of craziness going on.
Yeah.
But we're doing okay. Well, my girlfriend is in the MSF, taking her test as we speak.
Wow, right now in real time?
Right now in real time. And we just got her a Z650.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm relatively new to biking as well. I just picked up a Harley Sportster 1200, which your Discord community gave me infinite shit for.
Well, you'll find that on Discord you have the faction of the Sportster boys and then everyone else, basically. But yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm kind of, after driving that Z650, I'm kind of siding with everyone else because that thing is fun, man.
Yes.
Oh boy.
We're gonna defeat the scourge of the Harley boys on our Discord.
She can't flat foot the bike. She is making pretty good contact, but can't totally flat foot it. So I was going to ask pros and cons of lowering the bike a little.
Okay. Yeah.
So for those folks on the stream, the question was, for a shorter rider who can't flat foot a motorcycle, what are the pros and cons of lowering the bike? So if you want to start us off.
Yeah, so my personal opinion on this is I don't think you should ever lower a motorcycle, pretty much ever. You're going to massively compromise the handling of the bike. I know that from firsthand experience because I've actually ridden a couple lowered versions of bikes. There was a Triumph demo event that I went to one time in Tucson, and they actually had low ride versions of the Street Triple, and I rode it around, and it doesn't quite feel right. It turns in kind of strange and it feels a little twitchy because you've massively changed the geometry of the bike. So what I would recommend is to do what's in Europe pretty common practice is the left foot down technique. So you pretty much always keep your right foot up on the bike on the rear brake, and then your left foot is used to always push down towards the ground. So at stoplights, if you're a shorter rider, you're going to have the bike tipped over a little bit to the left, but you should be able to make pretty good contact with the road as you come in with that left foot down. That would be my recommendation. Spite, what do you think?
I am always against lowering a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hard up against it because of, like you said, it compromises the way that the bike feels. If you want to change the way that you can reach the ground, I would start with the seat. A lot of times you can get a lower, less padded seat. Of course, you're going to compromise the comfort a little bit, but it means that you're actually going to be able to touch the ground. It's one thing that a lot of for example, the Vulcan S does. They make specifically set up reach seats so that you can reach the controls in the ground a little bit better. Harley does it too with a lot of their bikes. So I would see if there's an aftermarket seat that will lower the total seat height a little bit. You really don't need much once you.
No, and you can gain like half an inch off certain seats, honestly, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah, well, yeah, and her foot is almost on the ground with both feet. It's just she's up on her toe a little bit. So yeah, we were leaning towards not doing it and just having her, practice just putting the left foot down and maybe scooching a little. And now I think we'll definitely stick with that.
Yeah, I would definitely say practice that left foot down. It's how, I can flat foot pretty much all of my motorcycles that I own, but I still do it out of habit whenever I come to a stop. I never put both my feet down unless I'm trying to back up out of a spot or something, and even then I might get off the bike and then scooch it on back before I jump back on. I hardly ever waddle with both my feet down. Split, do you ever do that?
I do sometimes when I'm just stuck at a red light and I know I'm going to be there for a while. I just pop it into neutral and sit there.
Yeah.
And then I start with the right foot down the right foot down because my left foot is where the gear shifter is. I had to think for a second. So I start with that right foot down to pop it back into gear. Not great on a hill, but when you have the front brake up front, it's okay to do a hill hold that way. So
yeah.
I try not to waddle though because it makes you look like a total noob.
It does, yeah. But I wish you and you said it was the wife or the girlfriend? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's the girlfriend, April. You can wish her luck on her MSF.
Tell her the old Yam wishes her some luck on the MSF. It's pretty easy to pass and many good riding miles to come.
Cool. Well, I'll make sure she knows it's easy to pass after she passes it.
Yeah. All right, Patrick. Thanks for calling, man.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
See ya. Hello, Zane. You're on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Good. How's it going with y'all? Can you hear me?
We're having some issues with the live stream, but thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it for picking me up.
Yeah. What can we do for you?
First, I was wondering, since the giveaway is about to be over, which bike you're going to miss the most?
Ooh. I'll let Spy take that one, actually, because I know your answer to that.
Definitely the XSR 700.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it. The XSR 700 is my favorite of the giveaway bikes that we've done thus far. It's just so much fun and has so much personality.
Yeah.
And it's such a moddable platform. I've loved every second I've spent with it.
I'm slowly turning Spite into a Yamaha boy. After the R1 and the XSR, you're seeing that they make the best bikes, man. I'm telling you.
They do make really solid motorcycles.
Yeah, I think I would say the XSR as well, but I really am going to miss the Duke. It's just such a fun little peppy bike, and I always have such a blast whenever I take it out. So I would say the Duke's probably the one I'm going to miss most, which is weird because I think I thought I'd miss the Street Triple most, but I think I get my triple fix with my Daytona. So
yeah, and honestly, I like the triple, don't get me wrong, but it's a good bike. It's a good bike. But the XSR is just so fun and so playful. The Street Triple is a very serious motorcycle.
It's very serious, very refined, very like buttoned up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's not
the XSR feels like a dive bar, and the Street Triple feels like a very nice restaurant.
Yes,
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I guess I kind of like the dive bar feel more.
It's more laid back, more chill, you know?
Nice. I was also wondering if, like, in the future, y'all had thought about doing more of, like, a competition bike giveaway where you kind of get, like, an old Ninja 250, 300, or 400 and then kind of, like, track prep it so that someone who does want to get into track will be able to have a better option to start out with.
Man, I tell you, that would be a dream of mine to do that because it would be so much fun. But I think the audience would not care at all if we did that, which is unfortunate because I've seen pretty much everything I post about track day stuff. It's like a very like energetic and active base that cares about it, but it is very small, unfortunately. And I do think that a track bike giveaway, although it would be so awesome, would be a very limited pool of people who would actually care about it, unfortunately. But maybe we can do like a, you know, how to prep a bike for that purpose and then maybe give it away or do something like that. Or maybe put on a couple mods that help it be more race prepped and then have fun with it. Because to build like a truly race prep bike, it's not even going to be street legal anymore. The lights are gone, all the mirrors are gone, you know, so be one of those things.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Later.
Later.
We still having trouble with the stream?
Yeah, that's for those of people who are wondering, you know, thinking it's unprofessional of me being on my phone. I'm actually on the Discord right now trying to talk with people, figure stuff out.
Yeah. Hello, you are on the Yamcast. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great.
Who are we talking to?
Moto is Live 2020 on the Discord.
Oh, cool. How's it going?
It's going good.
What can we do for you?
I was wondering what you thought. I know I asked you a question about a 600 sport bike for first bike since I had some dirt experience. But I was wondering, since you said that wasn't a good idea, if you had some other suggestions because I don't know what to look for exactly.
Yeah, so I think you'd mentioned that you had some experience with a 450 dirt bike, right? Something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's one of those things where, like, I think you totally could. I mean, since you have experience on a 450, that's a pretty ballsy platform. Like, 450 dirt bikes are no joke. So I don't think a 600 would necessarily spook you, but at the same time, they make their power completely differently. Like, the 600 is going to have that super screaming top-end power, and you're not used to going that fast on a dirt bike, so it is a little different. But I do think that since you have a lot of dirt bike experience, a 650 class bike would be just perfect. Like an SV650 or an FZ07, you really couldn't go wrong. They're plenty of fun. I actually prefer to ride them on the street than 600s, to be honest. They're more fun, and that XSR we have right now is plenty fast. I mean, we've gotten on sometimes and we're like, this thing really moves, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely a big handful for like a total fresh-faced beginner.
Yeah, it'll power wheelie in second gear, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I had actually been looking at the SV650. How do they do on a track, though?
They do really well. So SV650 and the FZ07 are both really great Twins Cup platform bikes. Moto America runs a Twins Cup right now, and it's a really popular class in racing because it's actually a lot cheaper to run a Twins Cup than like a 600 or a 1000. And they have a ton of aftermarket support. You can buy race kits for them. You can swap GSXR front ends on the SV650. You can swap R6 front ends on the FZ07. You can literally turn it into like a true blue, awesome track motorcycle. And just out of the box too, they work really well. The suspension on them, both from the factory, is unadjustable, unfortunately. So you're gonna have to tweak them a little bit. Most guys run a Penske rear shock at the rear end, kind of tighten that up a little bit, and then get some adjustable forks at the front. But they can be really, really solid track weapons. Up until recently, there was a guy at my local track that was running basically the same time as me on my Daytona with his SV650. So they're plenty fast.
Oh, cool. And I do think you should get real dirt bike. I think you'd enjoy it. It's cool to see you ride
So
one.
does everyone. So does everyone else, man. I really want to. I want to pick up like a little 250 or a 300 and start playing around with it because they're really fun and lightweight. And I think I'd learn a lot. Maybe we can get Spite on a true blue dirt bike as well. I think you'd really enjoy it, honestly.
Sure, I'd be down.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just been tootling around on my DRZ, which still is woefully stuck in a corner back here at
Not for
Yammie
long,
HQ.
though.
Not for long.
Not for long.
But I do intend to take that out and go do some silly stuff with it. So
Yeah. Well, we got our Big Ben trip hopefully planned somewhat soon.
yeah, I'm trying to iron out all the details on that. So
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you calling.
Yep. Thanks for answering my question.
All right. Take it easy.
Yep. Bye.
bye-bye.
The flows on the calls today have been so nice.
Yeah, they really have.
It's real nice, back to back. I could send super chat dollars again. Like I really do appreciate the super chat thing, but I feel like there's so few people that it's almost like kind of unnecessary to do super chat.
Yeah, I mean, we can stay on top of most of these
Yeah, I can
really
see 'em all.
easily.
But yeah, let's pop over to Discord and see if anybody had any questions or comments there.
So I saw a couple of questions earlier on. One was, and I can talk a little bit more about this later. One was directed at me by Lesser of Two Evils, who is a guy who works at a Harley dealer in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we've talked a lot about buying Harleys. He is asking me, are you buying a bike with your VFR proceeds? So what happened was I'd actually put out a feeler in our channel here,
Bike purchase chat.
in the Yam Gear Bazaar, to see if this question is of the utmost importance. I put up just putting out a feeler, but if I was to be selling good grief, start over. Just putting out a feeler, but if I was to be selling a 2014 VFR 800 with like 6,000 miles and a ton of extra parts for $6,000, would anybody be interested? And something we can talk about a little bit more later on. But I'm getting to a point right now where I'm thinking about whether or not the VFR is the bike that I still want to be riding. You know, at the end of the year.
This is what happens when you ride a lot of bikes. You start really figuring out what you want.
Yeah, and the more I ride it, the more I realize that it's not what I'm in love with anymore.
Yeah.
And again, we can talk about it more later on, but it's just my predilection for riding has changed quite a bit lately. And I don't know if it's because I've assumed this character. Oh, we've got one more. Again, we can come back to this.
Get this last call in. Marcos, how's it going? You're on the Yamcast.
Hello. How are my sweet boys doing today?
I think we're doing pretty good. I was just telling Spite, you had a very authoritative chime in with the Google voice there. You're like, Marcos.
Yeah, no. Oh, it's Jamibo from the Discord, actually. So I think we've actually even spoken about, I have this interesting booming voice in the past. The guy with the boardwalk rat thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting voice I have.
I like it. It's very like radio announcer. Yeah.
Yep.
I did radio and Shakespeare training for years, actually.
Excellent. Now I might chime you in for to read a list one day or something. Maybe do a cameo on a list video.
Oh, God, don't get my hopes up, sir. That's so nice.
We could do one where it's Jamie J, him, you, and me. It's a culmination of all of us. That'd
That
be
would
fun.
be crazy.
Yeah. What can we do for you?
Oh, just some nice vocal orgasms for the boys in the chat.
You just demonetize us, man. Why'd you say that word? I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You can cut that. No, so I'm actually calling right now. I'm still shaking a little bit, actually, because I just almost died on a ride.
Oh, jeez.
A guy tried to pull out and almost hit me, cut me off, and I come up next to him, and I see he's on his phone.
Yeah.
And I got very, very frustrated and angry, so I immediately just headed home. So my question was, when do you guys know when to call it if you're not in a good state of mind to ride? Because I think after that, I immediately just was like, all right, I have loud bumping music on, I'm very angry, I'm very, kind of amped, so I just immediately came home. So I was wondering if anything like that's ever happened to you too.
I've got an opinion on it that's a bit of a different take, but Spite, why don't you lead us off here with this one?
Right. So for the folks in the stream, the question was, how do you know when to call a ride if you have a situation where you're just, you're not in the right headspace and you want to get home safely? How do you know when to make that call? My rule of thumb is if you're not behind the handlebars mentally, you shouldn't be on the bike, right? And that's tough for you to gauge yourself, but there are definitely times where I've pulled off on the side of the road and just, taken 15 or 20 minutes to just completely decompress, because, it's just, that's how you get home and you're like, oh God, that could have been the last ride kind of thing. So
yeah.
I try to make sure that when I'm on that bike, I'm always behind the handlebars, right? I don't like having my phone on a phone mount as much as, we say you should have a RAM mount so you're checking maps. I always try to keep
You should
my
probably
music.
have a rock form mount instead, not a RAM mount, right?
Yeah, hey, maybe we can get one hooked up.
Yeah.
But I always try to just stay very kind of calm behind the bars. I don't try to ride in anger. And you can attest to how kind of laid back and lackadaisical my riding can be sometimes.
No, you're always cracking wheelies off camera, man. You're always splitting between cars. I have to keep up with this guy. I don't know what he's talking about.
Don't throw him under the bus like that.
No, Spite rides really chill. He rides chill. Yeah, I agree, man. I think it starts when you get on the bike to go ride. If you're not really feeling it, or if you're in a weird spot, you'll start to notice it, because you communicate with your motorcycle very intuitively and very intimately, and it's weird, but riding is 95% mental. I don't think much of it is physical, and your very mental sort of feelings and inputs are translated into that bike, and it's not going to work, and you guys aren't going to be in harmony in a way. And for me, my experience with this is, Spite, and I think you actually edited a vlog where I did this, where I just wasn't paying attention. I tried to go to the left of this one car while they were still turning, and I got into the turn lane, and there was a car that thought that there was no one behind that car, and they were turning left too, and I almost hit the guy when I was coming forward, and then I had a moment where I was like, geez, I almost hit that guy, but then I took a second, and I was like, wait, that was kind of my fault, because he didn't see me, and I put myself in the wrong position. So a lot of the times where we have these close calls, when I started riding, I remember I used to have a lot of close calls, but then you have to one day look in the mirror and be like, I think I'm the problem. I'm not riding defensively, and I'm not really focused on what I'm doing. And once I kind of got into that headspace, I had a lot fewer close calls. I would say I have one of those every 6 months at this point. It barely happens to me anymore. But it used to happen a lot more. But it's not. It's a really shitty feeling though, where you're like, geez, that could have been it. God, that was close, and it's not a great feeling. So I would say, whenever you have those.
I came home and immediately tied a saint medallion that I've had since I was a kid to my keys, just because I was like, okay, I just need a little protection here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it's just one of those things where riding is dangerous. It will happen every once in a while, and you gotta keep it rolling, but just make sure that in the future, just be a little bit more defensive or cautious. Sometimes it really isn't your fault at all, but you can kind of see them from a distance as well. I've noticed if someone's kind of drifting in and out of their lane, I'm like, this dude's on their phone, and I just kind of get in front of them, get out of their way, you know what I mean? Just kind of flow like a little minnow through the traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, I'm still very new to this. I think I've been riding for maybe 3 months now during all of the COVID stuff. At the very beginning is when I started riding. So I had a bit more open roads at the beginning to practice on. So now I'm getting a little bit more used to the Jersey crowded shore right now.
Yep. I mean, shit, I'm not that way too. Like, I've gotten really mal-accustomed to Austin traffic being super open all the time, and now people are coming back, and I'm like, look at all this traffic. And I'm like, wait, that's real life. That's normal. Yeah.
That's just how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you're okay, man. Glad nothing happened. Just best of luck going forward in the future on your riding.
All right, thanks so much. And Spite, I just wanted to say I'm so jealous of your hair. I've been wanting to tell you that directly for months.
Thanks, I grew it myself.
Yeah, we're all very jealous
I'm sure
of it.
you did.
All right, man. Thanks so much.
All right, great talking to you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Alrighty, guys, thanks for joining us for our community portion of it. If you want to join up, remember to go to yammie-noob.co. And now let's move on to funny comments, Craigslist bikes, and what's going on with us.
Sweet, let's do it.
Alrighty, guys, let's check out some of the funny and weird comments you left us for this week. And it looks like we've got some good ones. So, Spy, why don't you read us number one?
So our first comes to us on our XSR Gator and Light install video.
Which, by the way, production quality. My God, shout out to Andrew. God bless.
Yeah, that dude has completely elevated us almost overnight.
Yeah.
So this comes to us from Jay Bond. You guys are the most mechanically inclined 5-year-olds I've ever seen.
Yeah, we had a couple people on the case slider install and that one being like, why are you calling yourselves mechanics doing this stuff? And it's like, well, it's for the clicks. But yeah, we're not mechanics. God, no, I'm not a mechanic.
No. It's just, and we were just having a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah.
When we were doing the slow-mo Gator.
That came out so perfect.
That's the kind of stuff that it's amazing to be able to do that now.
Yeah.
And we have a vision and we just kind of execute it. And it's it happens.
Yeah. Or the wrap-up shot at the end of that one, too, where we just office spaced the blinkers.
Mm-hmm.
It did super well on Instagram, by the way. I took that clip and just chucked it up on Instagram. I got 150 comments on it. People were loving it. Got tens of thousands of hits. But yeah, it's just, I love doing stuff like that.
And people were really upset with us about smashing those.
Yeah, they were like, you could have resold those. I'm like, but I made a meme out of it. That's worth so much more.
So on similar footing with that, we've got another one still from the XSR video, and it's actually, we've got 2 comments, so if you want to take us away.
Yeah, so Van Stralen says, the location's been exposed, and that was for the XSR video where at the end of it we were in front of the office. And then you want to take the next one?
Yeah, so Walton Spinner LPs, now what? Buy a shitty Craigslist bike, put it on the office front door, and then ring the bell and run?
Do some ding-dong ditch Yammie Noob style. That's really funny. Yeah, that would be hilarious if someone did that to us.
It's just we hear some banging on the front door and we come out and we see some
wretched little mobility scooter or
yeah,
something.
like a baby left on the front porch of a firehouse.
Yeah. We're like, oh, we have to bring it in and care for it now. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. But yeah, just in case anyone's thinking of trifling, we recently upgraded the security system here at Yammie Noob. We got more things kind of buttoned up here. Yeah, don't come to the office if you know where it is. Please don't. We're not even here half the time, honestly.
Yeah.
We're only here filming stuff, and yeah, we're not here that often.
So our next one, this should get you real good.
Yeah. Oh, man, I love that. I shouldn't have read ahead. But anyways, so this one's on the 7 Noob Mistakes. Beans Malone, which is a great name, says, I don't shave my balls. I just squat over a candle. Works great. Plus, I get to stink up my roommate's bedroom. God. Can you imagine just singeing your ball hairs off? That's how you do it.
That would be very unpleasant.
It'd be extremely unpleasant.
That's the best way to just get back at your roommate, passive aggressive. Actually, that's a pretty active aggressive.
That's very actively aggressive, yeah.
Burn all your ball hairs off in the
I don't
room.
know about how passive or subtle it is to singe your nut hairs off in front of your roommate. It's pretty aggressive.
I mean, if that's the way you want to go, I just kind of feel like it's easier just to get a ball shaver.
Yeah.
I mean,
Manscaped.com.
we've been peddling ball shavers forever.
Yeah, they make the new one we're peddling now is nose hair trimmers. That's their new product. I actually just got it in. We're going to shoot some B-roll of it later today, but that's their new thing. Yeah. It's called the Weed Whacker. That's the new ish for June 2020.
That's great.
Yeah.
So our next one comes from the Case Cider install video. Which I won, by the way. Spider Tech 500 says Yam should have to wear a magnificent red wig and drive a bagger Harley in for the next video for spite.
Horrible. That's not a bad challenge, though. Yeah.
I mean, that was just a fun video to make, doing that case slider battle. I actually thought you were going to end up beating me for a little bit. And
Jeez,
then...
until oh my God. Whenever I realized that I had the wrong bolt on the wrong side of the drive, I was like, I have to undo all of these bolts. It's like, oh my God. They were like 5 mil apart, each of them. In my defense, okay? Like, when I had them laid out, you could barely tell one was longer than the other one, but it was just enough to make a difference.
Because
I should have known something was wrong when I was having to just crank away at the one side. I was like, this is feeling a little long. But I just didn't pay attention. But yeah, my favorite part of that video was doing like the player select screen.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was good. Yeah, we got to do more stuff like that. This Friday's video is going to be very good.
Very different, I think.
Very different, yeah. Hopefully people will like it, but it still has the same Yammie Noob flavor and feel. But it's gonna be a good one.
I think it's gonna be one of the funniest things we shoot.
I think so.
Just because a little bit of a teaser. It involves costumes.
Yes, some costumes. Which actually we need to let's finish up this episode wearing.
Oh boy.
Wearing our costumes, just so people know.
I gotta pull my hair down. I gotta
have
a
do.
lower ponytail.
Yeah, you do. Gotta finish this up. Just so you guys know that I actually did buy these cowboy hats because I think it was the West guy wanted us to buy them.
Where did the idea to buy these cowboy hats even come from? Just from the Discord?
I don't really know. I don't think he is. I don't think he's active right now on the Discord, but maybe he can come back later and chime in about where the cowboy. You look really good in that, honestly.
Howdy, Pard.
You look like you're supposed to be wearing that. Me, they're just like, why is he wearing that? He shouldn't be having that on.
Next to the kickstand, a little creepy. So yeah, we did shoot that. Spite next to the kickstand thing.
Yeah.
Specifically to be like mixed with the what was that?
Careless Whisper saxophone. Which we got
saxophone.
copyrighted for. Then we had to re-export it and made it different. But yeah, it was supposed to be like that saxophone solo. Yeah.
All right.
Nice Stetsons. Thank you, partner. I surely do appreciate you. All right, Spite, why don't you go ahead and read on I think it's our last comment right there.
I think I'm just gonna do it in my regular people voice.
Yeah, I could do it in the. Well, you just read the last one, didn't you?
I did.
So I get to read this one. I'll read in the Texan accent here. All right, y'all. So Joseph Wilson says, hitting your head on the pavement from falling from standing position or while walking can cause sufficient brain injury or cause death. As such, I propose that we should have to wear a mandatory helmet laws for pedestrians while walking in public places. Okay, so this is one that really frustrates me is people who are like anti-helmet laws, because this clearly sounds like he's anti-helmet laws because he's like, oh, like, you know, if you're walking, you could hit your head. But the thing about that is like there's no increased risk of hitting your head when you're just walking down the street as there is with a motorcycle, right? Like, yes, you could trip and hit your head and cause a brain injury. It's happened to a lot of people, but it's exceedingly rare. Whereas like when you're on a bike, you're probably going to hit your head if you fall, you know, and why wouldn't you protect yourself?
I mean, it's kind of your choice, I guess, but I just picked it up because I thought it was really funny. The idea of having everybody have to wear a helmet while they're walking down. Yeah. Like, everybody should just be wearing a hockey helmet while they're going down the street.
Just in case, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wear your helmets, guys.
Just wear a helmet, yeah.
I can barely even see the camera over the brim of this cap.
Yeah.
So, it's like... I don't want to just have like a giant mess of hair back here. So
you know, it looks proper with the folded back.
Yeah. But that is the last comment. Let's see. Why should your personal safety be
legislated? Adults should make choices about their level of risk tolerance. I mean, I really don't want to get into this one, honestly. But it's a case where, you know, having helmet laws in place just saves lives.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Like, you know, it's just a good thing to have.
Yeah, I think that, you know, if you're wearing a helmet, it's only going to do you good.
Yeah, it's also more comfortable to wear a helmet and ride. Like, I've ridden down the street like not wearing a helmet, and I'm like, this is miserable. Like, it's so loud, it's so aggressive. Wearing a helmet is nice because it kind of muffles everything a little bit.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's move on to our wretched crap bikes.
And this we can share with the folks at home. So let me grab this link for you. This is our first crap bike of the day. Crap bike, quite literally. And it is the Whizzer Cruiser motorcycle for sale.
Now that looks like a 1910s motorcycle, but also could be like a liquor cycle, right? Looks like someone needs a little way to get around, right?
Yeah, this to me, I thought for a second that this was going to be like what Fortnite did, where they built the 250 or the 50cc whatever it was 2-stroke bicycle that they did.
Yeah.
But it actually has this like speedometer in it. It doesn't look like it's a bicycle.
Okay.
You know, it looks like it's like a mobilette that you might see in like Paris or something like that. Looks like you could at one point have actually purchased this vehicle.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, it doesn't seem like a custom one-off thing. Maybe it's like a thing that Whizzer or whatever made.
Yeah, and there's not a whole lot to deal with.
1600 is spicy for that thing, though.
It really is.
Yeah.
Great price, extremely economical way to travel, low mileage, hardly used at all.
You say great price, but I don't think it is.
No, especially when you can buy for $150 the kits on Amazon and just turn your bicycle into a motorcycle.
Definitely. And also, like, $1,600 actually gets you a real motorcycle.
Yes.
It's not going to be a great one, but it'll get you an actual motorcycle. So
that has, like, gears and is fun.
Yeah. Not feeling this Whizzer Cruiser motorbike. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in pretty rough shape, too. I mean, the stuff's starting to rust. It's clearly this dude just, like, bought it and was like, this kind of sucks. I don't want to ride it anymore.
Yeah, it looks like it's just been sitting there for a while, yeah.
So I think that one's going to be a hard pass from the both of us.
Yeah, not feeling it.
The next one, though, this
Oh,
one.
buddy. All right.
So let me share it with you Discord boys.
Now this is going to make all those ZX14 boys really happy.
It really is.
I think we talk a big game about the Busa, but they're always out here saying the ZX14 is the way to go, and apparently it is. So this is a drag-built racing ZX14.
Yeah, and it's, you know, this is, I think this is the Busa boy who's like, I just need to be different. This is the dare to be different Busa boy.
Yeah.
The problem is the other two photos are taken down to the studs. So, and it's apparently street legal because it's got a license plate on it.
Oh.
Could you imagine riding this on the street?
No.
I mean,
well, I want to see if it's, it probably has like a shot of nitrous or something.
Yeah, so
let's see what's going on with it.
2013 ZX14 race bike, Carpenter nitrous motor, Gen 2 clutch, 16 over swing arm. Serious inquiries only? No text. And he wants 14 grand for it.
I could see the price point for 14 grand. What year is it?
This is a 2013.
Okay, that's actually kind of new.
ZX14.
I could understand that. Like, if you're looking for a drag bike, like, that's going to do it for you, man. Like, it's funny because we do talk about the Turbo Busa, but what I've seen for the drag racing scene is it's much more popular and common to just put on some NOS on these bikes.
Yeah.
Just give them a shot of NOS, and they go like stink.
Yeah.
You know, like, Jesus Christ. These 14s set up for drag racing with a shot of nitrous run like 8s in the quarter mile.
That's incredible.
Like crazy stuff.
And can you just take a quick look? I mean, it's registered for the street, but look at that nice little seat pan you got right there.
Yeah, because you're meant to ride it for literally 8 seconds at a time. You know? Like,
I mean, that just looks miserable.
and that exhaust, too. Can you imagine how loud this thing is? Mm-hmm. It's literally just a megaphone out of the headers. That's crazy.
All 4 headers into one and just one big loud megaphone.
Mm-hmm. I wish I knew a little bit more about like custom drag bikes because I'm sure this has a lot going on beyond just the swing arm. But it's really clean, honestly. Like it's not some wretched, horrible, stretched ZX14 or a Busa. It looks like a properly built racing bike.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like it's in really good shape too, despite being all torn down in these photos.
Yeah.
But it is bizarre to me that they would even bother having it be street legal.
Yeah, really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also bizarre that the tires that are on it, and they're not even slicks. They're just like really pretty, normal DOTs. Like it's got siping all the way down to, I mean, you're not going to be getting on the side of the tire, but it's got siping all the way down to the sidewall there.
Yeah, it hardly looks like an actual drag tire. That's a very street biased tire.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe he hung up his drag racing suit and is now just going
Cruising to the
stoplight
coffee
to
shop.
stoplight.
Yeah. The real question is though, Spite, does that thing have enough power for the highway? That's the thing.
I don't know, man.
As a bigger guy at 6'3", 220 pounds, could I ride this on the highway?
You'd probably want to put a turbo on it just to make sure. I mean, you really need that passing power.
You do, yeah.
And it's just maybe the nitrous is enough to just get you there.
Yeah,
turbo,
I get you.
2 shots of nitrous, sure. Now you're talking.
Now you're talking a highway capable bike. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I would give this thing a solid 8 out of 10. It's pretty nice, I gotta say.
Yeah, if you're in the market for a already pre-built drag bike, I got to imagine drag bikes are like track bikes where you can just pour thousands upon thousands of dollars into them,
and you never see any of it back.
Yeah. So, would I buy it for $14,000? Nope.
I wouldn't either. I'm not looking for a drag bike, but if I was, maybe that would make sense,
However, our next bike is actually a drag bike that I would own. This
wow, look at that name.
Yeah. This is a bike that I mentioned before in my Muscle Cruiser video, and it is the 2006 Harley-Davidson V-Rod Destroyer.
The Destroyer. So is that a special variant of the V-Rod?
This is a special variant of the V-Rod that was made specifically for drag racing. And it is a beast of a bike.
It looks like it, man.
It's got no headlights, straight from the factory.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah.
They sold it like that?
They sold it like that.
Whoa.
It wasn't even street legal. I mean, I've seen some people convert them for street, but I mean, these things are wild.
So what are we talking for performance or specs? What's going on with this bike? Do you know?
So let me pull it up just so that I'm not talking out of my butt here.
It's the power of editing. I wonder if the way it's set
165 horsepower.
That's a lot.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
It had 165 horsepower out of that. And I don't believe the V-Rod, I'm going to get reamed for getting this wrong, but I believe the V-Rod the stock one had like 115, 120 horsepower.
I think so. That sounds right to me. Yeah.
So this was completely hopped up, and it had, I believe it had a nitrous shot from the factory.
Wow.
So
really the motor makes 165, but with that shot of nitrous, you're talking 200 easy probably.
Yeah. And just look at the exhaust on this beast too.
Yep.
Jeez, man. There is no muffling going on there.
Wow.
And
I imagine it's geared really aggressively too to just go 0 to 120 as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah. And this is what the V-Rod was designed to do.
Out of curiosity, can you pull up YouTube and see if you can find a video of that thing ripping down a drag?
Sure.
That'd be cool. I saw it on that Cycle World article. It starts off by saying, "Holy shit." See, he's on an actual drag tire. You can see that.
Yep.
Let's do idling, dude.
That's what that motor was capable of.
That's race bike. Yeah.
Yep. Come on, give us the light.
Jeez. 9.2 at the quarter mile. Holy moly.
Yeah, this thing was a beast.
So for y'all who aren't familiar with drag racing and times at the quarter mile and that kind of stuff, anything under 10 seconds is ungodly fast. Like a BMW S1000 RR with launch control and a really good rider will do a 10 flat, 9.9, that kind of stuff. Bugatti Veyron does a 9.7 or something. So this thing is built explicitly to just rip times like that. And I don't know if you noticed right at the end when he finished the quarter mile, he was already out of gear. Basically, he basically had no more gear, so it looked like top speed is about 140 because it literally is designed to just do quarter miles.
Look at this front tire that it's got on it too. It's off center
and so skinny.
Yeah,
because it's you're not gonna be taking corners with this thing.
No, not when your rear tire profile is like that.
Yeah.
So
really cool bike. I never heard of it. That's crazy.
Yeah, this was when I said in that video. When was the last true race bike that Harley ever made? This technically, but it wasn't like a race bike. I consider a drag bike something completely different.
Yeah.
But let's move on from something totally crazy to something just a little bit just completely esoteric. And this is the Cushman, vintage Cushman, ? Utility vehicle, ?
So they don't really know what they have.
No.
I don't know what they have either. This looks like a go-kart or something.
Yeah, it's like some sort of weird golf cart Zamboni, like, trike crossover thing.
The Benny Hill theme just constantly plays while you're riding it.
Do you ride it or you drive it? You've got
Yeah,
a
no, you
steering wheel.
drive it. You got a seat and a steering wheel, you drive it. You don't ride it.
But it's still got those nice floppy Yamaha-style turn signals.
Yep. So what year is this? What is this?
I don't believe they know. 1966 West Coaster.
Okay.
Yeah. Original, very rare mail delivery van. 2 cylinders, 22 horsepower, 3-speed with reverse. Bare frame rebuild. So apparently this got used enough that they had to completely rebuild it.
Wow.
This is bizarre.
He says it's street legal there at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to America. Anything's street legal if we try hard enough. That's
yeah,
crazy.
I mean, just...
How is that street legal? It's like a go-kart.
Because it can probably go like 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But the thing that makes me laugh the most is just this front end looks like a duck beak
It does.
kind of thing.
It looks like someone hit a scooter with like a growth ray or something. You know?
And it grew an extra wheel, and
Yeah.
it is fuck ugly though.
Yeah. Hideous.
And they want $4,000 for it.
That's not bad, I will say.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna pitch it at like $8 or $10,000 because it's like, oh, it's rare and unique and old, and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, no, I don't think most people do. This is the kind of thing that you would get for like an old folks retirement community kind of
Yes.
thing to like chauffeur people to and from bingo night.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's very small, very easy to, just poodle around, nice and slow kind of thing. But
Yeah, because I have to imagine that a golf cart's much more expensive than $4,000, right?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not in the market for a
Well,
golf cart.
I've never bought a golf cart either, so I don't know. But
The
I have to
Harley
assume.
Davidson golf cart that I remember.
still love that so
reserving-
much.
The fact that they made it during the AMG years. I think it was like $4, $5, $6,000 on when it was used on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Weird little thing.
And it's got like a boat seat on it too. This is the sort of seat that you see on like your Boston Whaler.
It looks like that seat's on top of a cooler as well, and looks like it's just glued onto there.
It really does. Now that you mention
Maybe it flips open, and then you got a little refreshment underneath your seat.
that would be perfect.
Yeah.
But that's just get the one weird little like Russian mail truck that we use for some reason.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to something that we'll spend about as much time on is this interesting little motorcycle that I found in the Portland area. It is the Kia Optima.
The $30,000 2004 Kia Optima. Because they appreciate it in value. Everyone knows they're a collector's item, right?
This thing is the modern Kia Optima goes for like $24,000.
I think so, yeah.
And
These were the good years, though. That's why they're worth more.
oh yeah, and it only has 170,000 miles on it. It's
Perfection.
got plenty of life left.
Yeah.
So I mean, sure, I could see. I think this has got enough passing power to get around that ZX14 pretty easy.
Pretty easy, yeah.
It's kind of classy. It's got that grandma look to it.
Uh-huh.
Sure, for $30,000, I think that's a good get.
I think that's a good deal. Yeah. Perfect. I don't know why it's in the motorcycle listing, but there it is. Probably because they're going to trade it for a bike, maybe.
For $30,000, you can get a lot of bike.
You can. That's V4S pricing right there. Man, yeah, if I had a V4S, I'd totally trade it for a Kia Optima. 100%.
I love seeing these listings that just
So
show
weird.
up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like somebody's like, yeah, sure, that's where it belongs.
Yep.
It definitely belongs in the motorcycle listing.
Computer literacy is not as ubiquitous as we might think.
I think
Yeah.
what happens is a lot of people, like, they have it and they're just desperate to get rid of it. And which is why it's probably listed for $30,000. That extra zero, they kind of just face rolled the keyboard.
Yeah.
And I think it's why mobility scooters end up in the motorcycles and scooters section. Is
Yeah.
because people just want to get eyeballs on it as soon as possible. you know.
I would agree.
And that's why stuff like the Facebook Marketplace is just a disaster.
It's a disaster.
It's a big rolling dumpster fire.
Yeah. So what is our last bike for the day?
Our last bike for the day is one that was submitted to us by a user on Discord here. Our resident boomer, Mr. Negative, gave us this Honda custom bike that they want to sell for $10,000.
Now, this is a really wild bike.
It looks insane.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's $10,000 insane, but
it's clearly a one-off show build bike. So what is it? It's a Honda?
yeah, so let's see here. It was a 2013 Honda Shadow Phantom 750.
Okay.
Approximately 6 months to complete this one-of-a-kind. Always one-of-a-kind.
One of a kind.
All of the wood is solid mahogany. The seat is hand-carved.
Solid mahogany? Oh my God, you probably added 50 pounds to that bike. Mahogany's heavy, man.
It's like the kind of thing that you make your dining room table out
Yeah,
of.
holy crap.
It's got handlebar grips, copper wire wrapping, custom one-off
What?
handlebar mirror, steel gas tank with ornamentations.
This is a steel gas. This is like this guy was like, how do I make the heaviest bike possible? He's like, my rear sets are lead. I've got iron headlights.
And is that looks like a suicide shifter right there.
Made also of lead.
Depleted uranium
Yeah.
for the brake calipers. Yeah, I mean, ooh, and it's got a disc.
Ooh.
It's got a rear brake disc brake. That is just like
Jeez.
all of that weight coming to a stop with one disc. You really
Yeah.
got to work that front brake.
What's up with the exhaust? Go back a couple. What is it? It looks like a candy cane.
Yeah,
What
it
is
looks like
that?
what they did is they probably welded it to the headers and like restricted the airflow quite a lot and kind of ruined the top end performance of this motorcycle.
Probably.
Not that a V-twin had much to begin with, but this is a really kind of, for as much as we're dunking on it, it's really well executed.
No, it's beautiful, right? I mean, it looks like all the stuff that was done to it, although I personally don't agree with it, was done well. So
Yeah.
that is the thing, right? So like sometimes you'll see a bike where you're like, geez, I really don't agree with what you've done here, but it was done well, you know? And that's fine.
I mean, it looks like some sort of crazy steampunk bike. Like it's the kind
Yeah.
of thing that you would expect to be like steam and coal powered kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it belongs at like hand built.
Yeah.
Look at those floorboards.
It's super unique, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it belongs at hand built. It's like a one-off show bike. I would see this like if you have like a custom shop, this is the bike you wheel out to like do your marketing for you, right? You're
Yes.
like, look at our prowess of building these custom bikes. Like you can't actually sell one of these things because who would buy it?
I think the only right buyer for this is the person who just desperately wants to own a steampunk-esque motorcycle.
Yeah, I can't really think of many people who would want to actually own this thing, to be honest.
It seems like the kind of thing that you'd see in a motorcycle museum, honestly. Again, just because it would be a shame to go out and ride it and bin it.
Yeah.
Because there's no replacing it.
No, it's true. I mean, this is truly a one of a kind.
Yeah, you see one of a kind thrown around so often on those ZX14s, the Busas, the whatever.
Yeah.
This is actually a one of a kind motorcycle.
Definitely.
And that's the kind of if that's the kind of cachet you want, go for it.
Yeah.
The only thing I haven't seen is he's put about 26,000 miles on the motorcycle.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive, actually. Just holy cow.
Yeah.
Sure, if you want this steampunk aesthetic, go for it. 10 out of 10 for execution. 4 out of 10 for owning it.
Yeah, I would not own it, for sure. So, guys, that's going to wrap up our wretched bikes for this week. This one's not so wretched, but some wretched, some not wretched. And now let's move on to the old catching up with Yammie and Spite.
Sure.
All right, Spite, so what's going on with you, man?
Well, so I alluded to it earlier. I'm dealing with, I'm at a crossroads in my motorcycling career of what I want to own and what I want to do with my riding, career going forward. And I know, motorcycles come and go, so it's kind of weird to like be thinking, what do I need as a forever bike? But The idea was, when I got the Interceptor, was to replace a broken motorcycle with one that works. And it did that.
Yeah.
But is it as passionate as I once thought it is? Not really.
Yeah.
You know,
what is it about it specifically that has you kind of second guessing it, besides riding all of our, press bikes and giveaway bikes and all that stuff,
Honestly, it's we talk about that kind of turnaround factor of like, damn, that's my bike. And I'm just like, I turn around and I'm like, okay, sure. And I don't want to turn around and be like, yeah, okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
I want to turn around and be like,
passion.
I want to turn around and be like, damn, that's my motorcycle, you know? And for those of you who are wondering what I'm thinking about as a potential replacement, I'm thinking about something like the Fat Bob 114. That would be a lot of fun to ride. I've ridden it. It's a great bike. I haven't spent a lot of time on it, though, so I'd like to go, see if I can.
What's the price on those, like 15? More?
Yeah, the Fat Bob 114 you get out the door for like 20 grand.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was like 14, 15 grand, but I forget
No.
the Harley, the premier Harley bikes are very expensive.
Yeah, so apparently it's bad again. But we're all plugged in. I think maybe our internet's just doing something weird. But no, the Fat Bob is a very it's a very expensive motorcycle. It is a very good motorcycle though. So that's the thing I'm struggling with, is do I want to get something that is a real investment kind of a motorcycle, or do I want to get one that's kind of just a bike, you know? If I got a Sportster, it would be just a bike, but I would get one and mod it, and it would be mine, and that's also, there's two schools of Harleys. There's the one that you buy and you modify quite a lot, and there's the one that you buy and you kind of keep it as it is. Yeah. And the Fat Bob is more you keep it as it is. There's kind of a limited aftermarket for it. So I'm waiting to see what happens with, other giveaways that we're doing and more bikes that I can ride. But I don't see myself keeping the Interceptor too much longer. Right. Honestly.
It's interesting because I always approach it from like, what am I trying to do with my motorcycle? That was the big reason why I bought the sled, because I was like, I just want to goof around town and maybe jump down a trail every once in a while and do some wheelies and have fun with it. And it fits perfectly for what I want. And it also just, I bought it because of the way it looks. I think it just looks so freaking cool. Like, I love the way that bike looks. And I think that is important, for, like you said, that turnaround factor, being like, that's my bike. I get that with the sled. I get that with the Daytona. The RC is so much of like it's just this wretched little bike that I just use. It's literally a training tool, and then the Busa is the Busa. I don't really feel, I don't feel like kind of a calling to the Busa at all. I bought it for a meme. So really, I kind of consider really just like the sled and the 675 are like my bikes. Those are my motorcycles. And they both give me that look back factor, and I think you gotta find that,
And I have the DRZ for my silliness.
Yeah.
Once that gets up and running again, which I'm vowing that, like, I'm taking a blood oath that I'm gonna get that bike to run. And I honestly do think the carburetor is gonna fix it. But that'll be my silly bike. And then the bike that I really like, if I'm doing a group ride. For example, my group went and did the Twisted Sisters this weekend. They did a 1-day, 570-mile round trip ride. They went and did the Twisted Sisters. They did a bunch of roads down and a bunch of roads back.
Wow.
I could not imagine doing that on my Interceptor.
Yeah.
As comfortable as it is, it would suck after about mile 250.
Yeah.
And then, I want to be on a bike where I can just sit on it all day and go cruise all day. And I kind of think the Fat Bob is that bike.
I'd be curious to see what you think of like an adventure bike or a sports touring bike. More than the VFR, like a true blue, like a Tiger or a GS, something like that.
Yeah, it would be interesting to go ride one, because I've never really ridden one like that. I've been on an 1190 for like 5 minutes, and that's it. Not enough to say anything really.
I really think that if you were to try out like a 1290 Adventure and 1190 Adventure for like a while, it's got like that big stonking V-twin you like. It's got tons of tech. It's got, you know, lots of features that you like. You know what I mean? And I think it would be one of those things that it would really work.
Adventure bikes are cool to me. I'm thinking I don't want to be that kind of like ultimate dad mode quite yet.
Yeah.
I think I want something that's just a
That's
little
why
bit more
I was kind
passionate.
of goofing on you a little bit the other day where you were like, "Oh, I love the VFR." I was like, "You're younger than me. Why are you such a dad?" You
Yeah.
know, like have fun, man. Like get a fun bike.
So we'll see what happens, but I
Yeah.
think it's gonna happen sooner rather than later. We'll have to see, just, you know, if sales happen, what I can get. My credit is phenomenal right now, so I can
That's
get
good.
basically whatever I want.
Yeah.
But I'm a lot wiser when it comes to buying bikes at this point, so I think I could do pretty well.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's
I'm excited to see what you get then.
Yeah, it's all up in the air right now. But what's been going on with you?
With me, the only thing really is I am finally officially fast boy times at Eagle Canyon Raceway. I've been consistently clocking it. Thank you. Claps all around. Thank you. Appreciate it. Rossi, where are you at? Thank you very much for all you do for us.
Get on the bike.
Get on the bike. E tu push very hard when you get on the bike. We try for our best result. We don't get a good result. But anyways, yeah, so consistently putting down under a 2-minute 10-second at Eagles Canyon this weekend. And that's been my goal for a long time. Like everyone I know that's like pretty PDQ, pretty damn quick at that track, runs under 210. Pro level times, you know, it's like a 202, 201. So I'm, you know, it's one of those things where like the curve looks like this. It's like a parabolic kind of going up, or like, you know, this is lap times, and then this is, or rather to be inverse for lap times, and then time over here. We're like, you know, at first you're chopping off 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds off your lap time, and then over time it takes so much more effort and so much more skill to just shave off 1 or 2 more seconds, you know?
Yep.
So I could easily see where like it's probably going to take me another 2 months to get to like a 206 or a 205. Maybe by the end of the year I could do a 205, but then it's to the point now where I'm like, I might not ever make it to 201, 202. I'm not a professional racer. That's never going to be my thing, but
Right.
I want to still keep going as much as I can.
But like you were saying earlier, it's been so much easier for you when you just kind of let go and just went out and was like, I'm going to go have fun. And you weren't like...
the session where I ran that 208, I was just like, I'm just going to have some fun. And I ended up chasing this guy. We're having some fun. I just whipped out. I wasn't really trying super hard, and I got the 208. But a couple of things that I did start really keying in on was my dead spots. Like
Right.
the one lap where I started really chipping away time, I was like, let me like really stay focused to like never be coasting ever on this lap, and I just started crushing it, you know, and
Right.
like combining that with looking as far ahead as I could. I mean, it's always fundamentals, man. It's always like the super basic fundamental shit that you learn on your very first track day is like actually the super high level stuff that you need, you know? It's like throttle control, look where you want to go, don't leave any dead spots. If you can do that like super well, you'll go really fast, you know? Everyone's always focused on trying to get that elbow drag, trying to look cool for the camera, but like that shit doesn't really matter as much, you know?
Then it's just all flair.
Yeah.
You know?
But I am really good. Like, we have got to get you on track one day, man. Like, it's a shame you still haven't done your first track day. And it honestly might elucidate more of what you want out of motorcycling.
It might, yeah.
Because honestly, like, it did for me. Like, once I did my first track day in 2016, I didn't even care about going fast on the road anymore. I was like, it's pointless.
Yeah, I mean, I'm completely open to it. I got to get a suit.
Yeah.
But
It's like whenever you rode the R1 where you're like, oh, this is speed. This is everything else is pointless, you know? Like, that's what happens. Yeah.
I think that's the thing that is making me just want an incredible amount of torque.
Yeah.
It's just because speed is whatever.
Yeah.
But I would like to see what it's like to just be on a place where there's no speed limits and I can just go. you
Yeah.
know? Who knows? We'll see what happens with the DRZ. I can probably get a fresh set of wheels and just slap some, you know, not dirt spec tires on there and just see what happens. It'd be a lot of fun to run that at Harris Hill, I think.
I think it would be good. Yeah, it's an interesting first track day experience, and maybe you'll kind of end up going to like, you know, supermoto go-kart type of stuff. And a lot of guys do that because it's dirt cheap to do that. It's a great way to put down laps without spending much money. But me as like a bit of an elitist, I'm like, that's not real track days. It's real, but it's not the same experience. It's a ton of fun for money though, for sure.
Spite track might just be an oval.
Oof.
The flat dirt oval would be a lot of fun. I'd love to try flat tracking.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
It'd be super fun. The few kind of like skids and goofs we've done off road with the desert sled and the DRZ, it just puts into perspective like how much balls those guys have to just like fly in, sideways at 90 miles per hour. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, no, it would be ridiculous.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
So, and I watched an old video of some dudes just ripping on a flat track. They were just, talking in the helmet while they're leaned over at like 45 degrees with the back tire just so far out in front of them. I'm like, what do you guys like? Why? Well, how are you able to do that and just be like, yeah, this is we're going at like, a nice mellow pace here. And,
yeah.
Not high siding ourselves into a gigantic fence.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, practice and time. And then, what used to be crazy to you all of a sudden is like, just your chill pace. You know what I mean? Like my second day because I went out this weekend and did 2 days of the track. The second day, my warm-up pace was like past my old personal records. Like I was warming up at like a 212.
Wow.
So I was like, oh shit, this is great. You know what I mean? I used to warm up at like a 216. So I could easily see myself like chatting while doing like a 211 or a 210 at this point.
Now here's the question. If you were able, and you'll probably have a little bit more to say on this later on, but if you were to take your same bike, same level of experience, and just take it to another track, do you think you would immediately be able to, or maybe not immediately, but quickly, like within a day, start chopping people up?
Yes. Because all the fundamentals still apply, right? Like I know how to ride a motorcycle on a racetrack. All I'd have to do is just learn the track itself. And that would maybe take like 2-3 sessions to get a good feel for where the braking zones are, where the lines are. And then you just apply the same skills. You're like, oh, brake really heavy here, let it wiggle around, flick it in, watch my braking zone, watch my apex, no dead zones. Eventually just, start ripping some good laps. Those skills transfer over. That's what happened with me when I went to Road Atlanta, for example, last year. Like it took a couple sessions. I was like, okay, I got a feel for this track, and I was having a ton of fun and chopping people up. Yeah.
Sweet. Cool. Good to know.
Yeah. They kind of transfer. So yeah, guys, I think that's going to wrap up the podcast for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you tuned in all the way to the end, I do appreciate it. Remember, if you want to join up, go to yammie-noob.co, join up our Discord server, and maybe you can give us suggestions like these cowboy hats that we're wearing and having some fun. And yeah, we're also just a couple more days left for our sweepstakes, so do and check that out. YammieNoobMerch.com. Code YAM10 is going to get you 10% off and 2x entries as well. So that's going to do it for us for today. Spite, any closing remarks?
Good day.
Giddy up, partner. See you later.